Okay, here comes Donald Sieg Heil Hitler Trump with his every day or every other day 10 to 15 minutes of free TV on Morning Joe. Here we go.
Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. Donald, good to have you on board.
Good morning.
Morning. So I think I'll start off by asking you a question I've asked you 3 times now since we're talking about foreign policy. I think it was 20 days ago now, our town hall, where you said you'd be announcing a foreign policy team. And you said then it would be a week. And then last time we talked to you, last week, you said it would be soon. You've mentioned one name, Jeff Sessions. Who is on your foreign policy team? Who are the giants who are going to join you?
See, Jeff Sessions just recently endorsed him. Donald Trump does not have a team. Donald Trump watches shows like MSNBC, CNN, and Fox, and he sees all of their military experts, and those are the names that he throws out. He doesn't have a team. If he had a team, he would announce it. So now he's just going to sit up here and continue to bullshit Mika about this, that he will announce it in good time. Good time was past. He actually did promise to announce his team more than 2 weeks ago. He broke that promise. Then after that, he said soon. So what the hell is the definition of soon? He doesn't have a team.
Doing it this morning, Mika, you do always ask me that question. I said I would have it in due time, and I've been meeting with some tremendous people, and I haven't made exactly my decision yet, but you'll have it in due time.
Now it's due time.
Is there a team?
Yes, there is a team. No, there's not a team. I'm going to be forming a team. I've met with...
Oh, my God. First he said, yes, there is a team. Then, no, it's not a team. Now he's going to form a team. He changed his mind 3 times in less than 10 seconds. This guy is a fucking joke.
Far more than 3 people, and I'll be forming a team at the appropriate time.
All right, so Donald, there's been a lot of talk about your rallies where you actually ask people to raise their hands if they're going to support you.
That's not true. What he asked people to do is to raise their hands and promise to support him. So let's just get that clear. Now, the first time he did that, he went through this long spiel or long lines of pledge sentences, which it didn't work. But at the end of it, he got, he said, raise your hand if you pledge to vote for me, and everybody did. So the second time he did that, basically he shortened it up quite a bit, and he ran through the spiel himself. And again, it received a tremendous response from the crowd. Now, what's troubling about this is these people are all pledging to vote for him. And it's drawing surprising analogies to, of all people, Adolf Hitler with their salute. Now, when you raise your hand is going up. If you drop the angle of your arm by approximately 45 degrees, you got your Sieg Heil salute. Conspiracy theorists, knock yourselves out. But, Trump is basically full of shit. And again, he is following the principles of in how he is seeking support. So, it is what it is.
Mickey, you look upset. Do you want to follow up again with this foreign policy team? Donald, she's giving me that look.
It's just, at some point, there have to be some people who will stand by your side and take on global strategy and some ideas that you find important that they bring to the table. Who are these people?
Well, I think Senator Jeff Sessions is an example who wasn't on board the last time I spoke to you because he just endorsed me last week. But I think he's a prime example. He's highly respected as senator, and he's somebody I have a lot of respect for, and that would be one to start off with. In addition...
No, that's not one to start off with, because if you're going to start off with that guy, have you actually met with Jeff Sessions and sat down and talked about foreign policy? That's a follow-up question that should have been asked here, and it isn't. So, he's full of shit. Now, because Sessions endorsed him, now he feels like he has the right to use his name, which I guess he does, but no, I'm not buying.
In addition to that, I'm dealing with numerous other people, and I'll be making a decision over the fairly short period of time.
It's always numerous other people.
All right. So, Donald, we've been showing pictures. We just did it one time. Showed pictures of people raising their hands when you ask them to pledge that they are going to vote for you. In the media, there have been some people that have taken still pictures to make it look like that's Hitler salutes. And in fact, we had one person on earlier today saying, well, if you look at the still pictures, it looks very troubling. Talk about what you're doing when you're having people raising their hands, and are you in any way making an attempt to emulate what Hitler or anybody else did with his salutes?
That's amazing.
Come on, Joe, give me a fucking break. Adolf Hitler wouldn't admit that's what he was doing when he was doing it. And you're going to expect somebody else to admit that's where they're going? Come on. Give me, at least make it a real question. You should have basically just skipped it. You should have said what people thought, and then for him to comment on it. You can't ask him, is that what he was doing? Because if he was doing it, obviously he would lie about it.
That would even be brought up. Of course not. Of course not. That's ridiculous. This is the first I've heard of it. This morning I was on the Today Show and they mentioned it, and I said, what is going on here? I think it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Bullshit. That's been circling around for at least a week and a half.
1,000 people at some of them and more. And we're having actually a great time considering the subject matter is not so good, meaning the country's not doing well. And I say, and jokingly, raise your hand if you want to, if you swear to endorse me and swear to go and vote for me. And
bullshit. I mean, if he was jokingly doing that, he went on, and I'm serious. If I can find it, I'm going to put it up. He went on with this pledge for 3 minutes, and if he was joking about it, why did he go on for 3 minutes? And I mean, it was the initial one was a detailed pledge. It was so detailed that the people couldn't even repeat it, so they just started laughing, and then he just went on.
The entire place practically laughing and having a good time raises their hand. They're raising their hand in the form of a vote, not in the form of a salute. That's crazy. Yeah. That is crazy. I can't believe that's even being posed.
Guys, a vote is a salute. If you vote for someone, that means that you salute whatever they stand for, i.e. you salute them. So a vote is a form of salute.
All of us around the table, I think, actually agreed it was equally crazy, but needed to ask it. So, Florida, right now, you're getting absolutely hammered. About $10 million, $12 million in 30-second ads being spent against you. We see that you have an ad going up against Marco Rubio. Are you going to actually put any money behind that ad, or are you going to rely mainly, as you said yesterday, on Facebook and Twitter to respond to over $10 million in attack ads?
He's not spending any money that he doesn't have to, so guaranteed, and I haven't heard the response yet, guaranteed he's going to basically go with Facebook and Twitter in order to counter the ad, which quite honestly is pretty effective.
Well, a little bit on Facebook and Twitter, but also we've put up some ads, and they're good ads, and they're spending a couple of $1 million, maybe a few $1 million. I don't know what the final determination is, but
that's no money.
We already have ads that are up. And, we'll find out if they're effective, but certainly the establishment is just hammering me with ads. Everybody goes, I had the big tournament down at Doral this week where Adam Scott won, and I'm watching the tournament, and I see during the ad portion, I see ads against me, and I'm the one having the tournament. I own Doral. So it's sort of a weird feeling. But no, they're spending a lot of money on that. The good news is I'm up against a senator who, frankly, is very unpopular in Florida. He doesn't vote. He doesn't go and vote. And I think if he actually ran for an office there, he wouldn't be elected a dog catcher.
Does it make it less likely that you can make peace with the establishment after this is all over? Because they are spending so much money in attack ads specifically directed at you?
Well, I've always gotten along with people. I think you understand that. I've always gotten along. I've had great relationships with people over the years, and I've had feuds and I've had fights with people, and I've been able to get along. We'll have to see. I think we can. The bottom line is, the biggest story in politics is how many people are showing up to these primaries. I mean, with people, there are 50, 60, 70%, millions of additional people over 4 years ago. 4 years ago, they were dying, the Republicans. And now it's been energized. And, instead of being given credit, they take ads against me. And I will tell you, if I am out, if for some reason I'm out, you will lose millions and millions of potential voters out of the Republican Party. And I don't think there's any track, any way that the Republicans can win. Frankly, if you take all of these new energized people come up to me, Mr. Trump, I've never voted before, 40, 50 years old. I've never voted before. This is the first time in my life I've voted. I'm so honored to vote. You have to see these people. They're incredible. They've never voted before, many of them. And others. And they're coming from the Democrats. They're coming from the independents. It's the biggest story in politics, what's happening with the Republicans. And I've done a great job, and I'm not being given credit. Instead, they take ads against me. And, the funny thing is, if they're successful, and if I don't win, all these people going away, Joe, these millions and millions of people, they're not going to vote for Rubio. They're not going to vote for...
Will you, if they take this from you at a convention, will you run as an independent?
I don't know, Joe. I don't.
He absolutely knows. He knows that he's going to take his ball and go home and run as an independent and he'll probably come in second, to be honest with you.
When I think about it now, I mean, to be honest, I'm the front runner by quite a bit. CNN had me at 49 the other day, 49 to 15. I think 15 and 15 for the two of these guys. I hear Rubio's getting out. There was big stories all over the place that Rubio's getting out. I don't know if he's getting out. He probably should. He hasn't won hardly anything. He probably should get out. And he's not popular. I mean, he's not popular in his own state. He's really defrauded his own people because he said he was going to be a senator. He doesn't go and vote.
Really quickly,
So,
Mark Halperin.
we'll see what happens.
Mark.
Mr. Trump, in 2014, what was your effective tax rate and how much did you give to charity?
Well, I gave a lot of money to charity. I should release a list. I don't talk about my tax rate because I'm under audit, but when the audit's finished, I'll give you my tax returns. I've also filed full financials with the Federal Elections Commission, and it's almost 100 pages, so you have my full financials talking about all of the things you have to talk about, including worth and all of those things, cash flows, worth, very little debt, tremendous cash flow, great company, some of the greatest assets in the world. Which, frankly, you can't learn about from a tax return. You can't learn very much from a tax.
That's bullshit. You give me a tax return, and I mean a tax return and all the forms that go with it, all the notes that go with it when you're doing your filing, and I can tear you a new asshole. So he's full of shit as far as his tax return not basically telling you anything. His tax return probably is going to probably tell you more than his financial statement, because his tax return basically, well, actually a financial statement is a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement. Okay, his tax return is basically a profit and loss statement. So that profit and loss statement is going to tell you how well or how poorly somebody's doing. It's going to tell you how much money is coming in and exactly where it's going. Okay, so, and that in my mind is a very necessary information to see what's going on with someone.
Frankly, almost nothing. But I filed my financial statements with the Federal Elections Commission.
All right, Donald Trump, thank you. I should mention you are set to join us live again tomorrow, so we look forward to that. And good to have you on this morning. Appreciate it.
Mika locked him in. She wanted to find out how pissed off he was, so she wanted to lock him in for an interview tomorrow after the primaries for the Republicans are in. So she just took his temperature.